Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over some information on ZNOG, ticker symbol ZNOG, and answer a common question that I typically see in the comment section. Every other video, it seems I get 2 or 3 comments asking, where can I buy Zion Oil and Gas? What platforms do I use to buy Zion Oil and Gas? How do I invest? We're going to go over that, and we're going to talk about not only where you buy them from, but what exactly are you buying. And then on the back end, we're going to go dig in a little bit to the technical analysis, and this is going to be a daily chart for the technical analysis. Sunday I did the 4-hour time frame. Today I'm going to do the longer term daily chart dating back to January 1st 2023 to today, September 8th 2025. So stick around for that if you're interested. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy this content, and share the video for someone who may benefit from this content. So let's talk about not only where to buy ZNOG, but right off the bat, let's talk about what exactly are you buying. All right, guys, so Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG, the former ZN, and when I say the former ZN, they used to be listed on the NASDAQ until I believe it was August of 2020, maybe August 31st of 2020, where they were actually bumped down from the NASDAQ and voluntarily came down to the over-the-counter market because they refused to do a reverse stock split in order to fulfill their requirements to stay on the NASDAQ. Okay, so OTC stands for over-the-counter, referring to a decentralized market where securities like stocks, bonds, and derivatives are traded directly between 2 parties through a network of brokers and dealers rather than on the central stock exchange like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. OTC markets are less regulated, generally have lower transparency, and can be higher risk due to lower liquidity and potential fraud, though they offer unique trading opportunities for securities not listed on the major exchanges. So it says, how does it work? Decentralized trading, so like it mentioned above, not centralized. Trades happen directly between buyers and sellers via a network of broker dealers. The networks, the networks connect buyers and sellers rather than using the automated machine engines or your formal exchanges. Tiers of regulation, so you have different types of tiers on the OTC that you can be a part of. Key characteristics: lower liquidity. Securities trade OTC have lower liquidity, meaning they are harder to buy and sell quickly without affecting the price. So if you ever try to go and buy in to an OTC stock, not just even Zion Oil and Gas, but maybe an IQST, maybe a hemp whenever it wasn't dead, you notice that, I remember whenever I swung it one time and I tried to sell it at 4 cents, it took forever, it seemed like forever for my sell order to go through. Reduced transparency. OTC markets generally have less transparency compared to your general traditional exchanges. Higher risk. Combination of less regulation, lower transparency, and lower liquidity can make OTC trading a higher risk with higher potential and volatility and market manipulation. So if you're a part of ZNOG, that it, as far as transparency wise, this kind of hits to a T. Not just because of the not just because of the type of business they're in, but I mean the low transparency, 100% that fits the bill for sure. Lower liquidity and higher risk, market manipulation and volatility. People all the time are like, oh, the stock's manipulated. Well, it's on the OTC market. It's a lot easier to manipulate on the OTC market. It says it here now. Okay, so just know that up front. Trading requirements: you need to find a brokerage firm that specifically allows OTC trading, and not all brokerage firms offer this service. Security traded on the OTC markets: shares of a smaller company that don't meet the listing requirements of national exchanges or foreign companies, they'll be on the OTC markets. Bonds, derivatives, currencies, and other complex financial products are also traded on the OTC market. So there's a couple of different ways you can purchase Zion Oil and Gas. One is directly through their company, for one. So if you go to zionoil.com and you click on invest, and you come down here, it's going to give you some options of what you want to do here. So it says purchase through a broker. You can click on that and they can give you some info on how to purchase through a broker. Direct stock purchase plan. Online purchase of ZNOG enrolled in the DSPP or reinvest with account number. 7 to 14 days for stock to be issued. Less control on the sale. Possibly higher cost due to sell unless you transfer to a brokerage. Automatically monthly investment option. So basically at this point here, you're just giving them money and they're kind of investing at their own pace, it seems. It's taking more time to kind of actually process and everything. So you could, like it says, you could either potentially pay higher for an entry or lose money on a sale because it just takes longer. Definitely you want to go this route, go through a broker, and then if you have warrants, you could also exercise those warrants through there as well. So which brokers should I use to invest in ZNOG to buy your stocks? These are the ones that come up. Just a quick Google search, and I'll tell you the ones that I would pick is Charles Schwab and Fidelity. Those are the two top ones that I would look, because I know that they both offer it. These other ones here, TD Ameritrade actually got bought out by Charles Schwab. I don't know anything about TradeStation, Merrill Edge, Interactive Brokers. Webull says they do trade OTC stocks, but they don't necessarily have Zion Oil and Gas. I know whenever I was on there they didn't. I don't know if they do now, but someone else could maybe chime in on that if you know more than I do about that. But these are the two top ones that I would look at if I were going to do it today. Okay, and Fidelity does not charge a commission for OTC stock trades. Charles Schwab, there will be a fee, I think of about $7 per trade. That's if you buy or sell, depending on how many shares that you buy. Okay, so that's basically in a nutshell where you can go and buy Zion Oil and Gas. Now the next question is, where should you look to buy? So let's take a look at the charts and see what they're telling us. Alright guys, so Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG, right here at this particular moment. Risky business investing in this puppy, not just because it's OTC, just because the overall state of where we are and kind of just sitting around in the unknown, which is kind of quite a familiar situation that investors find themselves in. High of about 28 cents for this cycle on ZNOG. As you see, we had a big dump down. We bounced off of this trade line, which is kind of good, off of 17. We popped our head up about 25. Now we're falling back down again, and the key level is going to be right here at about 17 cents. Okay, so if I'm looking for an entry, all right, if you want to start your position, then maybe you can look at trying to get in here at about 17 3/4. If it falls down this low, I don't know if it will. It could just pop its head back up and come up. But I just kind of feel like we're going to come down, at least test this line here, 17.71. And then if it falls below that, you're looking at about 15. But if it comes down hard off the open today, and especially with like a big wick at the bottom here, where we're bouncing off of 17, I think if it were me and I was looking for a swing play or an entry, that would be a decent starting point. I just wouldn't go and bet the farm on it. If you want to start your position, you can there. Again though, you want to be really careful here. So if you're looking for longer term, maybe starting your position here lighter, and then watch how it progresses. If it falls down, you can dollar cost average in. If you're looking for a swing trade and getting in here, then make sure that you put a stop loss behind it, because there's potential for a chance of a little head fake trying to come up and then pulling back down. So 17 cents, 15 cents. If it gets below 15, in my opinion, until the rest of the year with no news, okay, and with a big emphasis on with no news, I think that we can trickle our way down to 10 cents or maybe even below, down to 7.5. That's just my opinion, just what I'm seeing. However, with news, any type of positive news, and this thing can turn around and start making its way back up. So just keep that in mind as well. So it's all dependent kind of on where they come out and what they say, how they, treat the shareholders as far as transparency. But keep in mind the OTC market, just like we looked at, low transparency, especially this particular company. Okay, there's months that can go by where you may not hear anything from them at all, and that's a normal thing, not just because of the industry that they're in. That's just kind of the name of the game and how they roll. All right, because they don't have to report quite as often on the OTC market. So I'm hoping that answers some questions for people who are looking to potentially invest, or are just curious in general on how to get involved in the OTC market. So anyway, that's all I got for you in this one. Let me know your comments below. Other than that, we will catch you in the next one.